Good day, everyone. Thank you very much for all your kind words for my I Told Sunset About You review. I am actually thinking of a way to continue creating Itsay or BKPP related contents even after this finale review, so if you have any ideas, I would love to see them in the comments section. Thanks. As usual, we start our review with a little recap on the previous episodes, but I guess I don't wanna go in details when it comes to the episode 4 Ascending. That episode is cursed. I am severely damaged by that episode alone, and I am damaged by most of the VLS combined or together before. Also, consider this review as a petition for all the Thai and Asian award-giving bodies to give everything to Itsay on 2021. From Best Actor Awards, to Best Director, Best Musical Scoring, Editing, all. I never respected a series as much as I do now with Itsay. So please, give them everything. And now, for our episode 5 review. The episode started with Chi staring blankly with his review materials on his table. Somehow he manages to continue studying despite all his resources was now a no. How I wish that as early as this, O and Tel would just reconcile and share all those tutorial guides and study together, since I really believe that it would be the best for the both of them. But yeah, I'm not surprised that's not what's happening. Of course, Director Boss wants us to go insane. It is also during my rewatch that I noticed the firecracker sound in the beginning of this episode. I just love this detail, for it gives more depth, consistency and justification for Tay and O's behavior. We also had a glimpse of how Tay and O are doing with their separate reviews. But what you're seeing now is that cursed book that continuously breaks my heart whenever I saw it. Not I was very detail-oriented, as if they have obsessive-compulsive disorder in making things perfect. I was holding that flashcard made by with the Chinese characters for the phrase to be worried. As it seems to me, as it is being held by O, he's worried about Tay, who made it and gave it to him. On the other hand, Tay is contemplating on whether he would delete his Instagram chat history with O, which is very realistic. I bet all of us here try to do this also before in order for us to move on. And I really appreciate that Dada was giving us these small realities that will automatically give us nostalgic feelings, resulting to the show being so relatable and realistic as our lives. The next scene started with their gang's conversation. That day is their last day in their Chinese review school, so they'll be having a little celebration, and Tay told the group that he would bring their infamous Hoki and me. But once I went downstairs, he discovered that they closed their restaurant, and we all know what that means. Aside from Tay not being able to bring Hoki and me at their school, it seems to me that Sui is disappointed and ashamed to the people in their neighborhood because of Tay's non-admission to the university, which they celebrated already. The ashamed is so down after knowing the closure of the restaurant that he even gave him back the gift he gave him. But who never disappoints, not just Sui but even us, viewers. Who told Tay to just keep it, which is something that represents trust and faith to Tay in my opinion. And I'd keep on saying this, Una's hot. As Tay is trying to get to his dream university through the normal admission system that would require a good GPA, he talks to one of his teachers explaining what and why he did things. The teacher, however, despite being so understanding and kind, didn't do the favor for Tay. He wants to give Tay a lesson to make sure that Tay wouldn't do it again in the future. On their school gym, there goes Tay, and practicing basketball is a school requirement. So they came to him to have a confession. The pissed hand didn't really give Tay a chance to speak, and gave him a condition that they'll only talk when both her and Tay got themselves universities to study. What we saw next is Tay was second thought on entering their Chinese classroom with the snaps he went with instead of Hoki and me. For sure his friends would be disappointed, and he'll have to lie why he can't bring them any Hoki and me as promised. Their friends then started to ask Tay things between him and O. But at the point, I think it would interest them more if they asked how things are between O and Bess. I mean, look at their faces. They are so happy looking. I want to exude that kind of positive aura too. This is the exciting part, so this explains their finally teaser with O telling things straight to Bess while he is looking so confused and broken. Let's go on details. Mott started the blessing thing, and he started with E. I love how the pat-on is mentioned here, because before watching the finale, my friend Ron and I am talking about the episode 4, and he explained to me what pat-on is, and hearing it again on the finale is giving the series strong consistency when it comes to details. The blessing continued with Tay blessing Philip with the message is we all know that really is for O. I know how much it hurts for O to receive that kind of help. It really is insulting, but I don't know. Maybe if I were O, I would just accept it and have Tay to get him as well in return of all the help he has given me. Philip then blessed O. Then O answered the by blessing Bess. He even mentioned all the things he wants that Bess never failed not to give him. Bess always had faith in him. That he could do things without being toxic positive. Clearly, Bess loves O in a very healthy way. Again, O said all of these and more to Bess in front of Tay. As expected, Bess blessed O too. But what I didn't expect is that his blessing would be as long and bright as it is. He started by answering O's last sentence, saying that he would always be there for him too. Bess continued clearing things to O, like the reason why he goes pick up and drop O to the pier every day is because he likes him. He even told everyone how he and O met, how O changes him, how O helps him, how happy O made him, and that he may be shy, but he won't ever be shy for having feelings for O. I am just so soft that if I heard all of these without really knowing that Tail exists and that Tail is the one that I really like, I'll just be purely happy for the two of them, because Bess' love for O is so pure, and we all deserve that kind of love. But the case isn't as simple as that. Tail exists, and he witnessed all of these. Imagine all the pain Tail is feeling now, from the reality of him having a smaller chance to get in his dream university, the pain he's feeling for disappointing his mom more than ever, the pain for not even having Tail as a friend, the pain of fighting the crisis within himself, and now the pain of seeing or receiving all the words and love he wished to give from another person. That's just unimaginable. 30 days passed and it's now their admission exam day, but this is how we saw Tail, just staring blankly to their blank conversation of O after he deleted everything. This is again a very special day, so here go Sui and Hoon again for their good luck charms. Sui's left foot reminder and Hoon's coconut, which I think has more meaning to Tail at that moment, for he shared all those with O. Tail asked Sui for one thing that would really encourage him the most: reopening their restaurant. And we all know what that means. It is Sui trusting, believing, and being proud of them again. And this one I rally started to shed some tears. This kind of filial love is just so heartwarming. While Sui is preparing for Tess, Hoki and me, Nada then gave us a montage of their house's exterior, going to a sign asking everyone to lit their firecrackers at a certain time, for he is afraid of it and needs to focus. And I started to cry again. Sui's love and faith in Tail was never gone, it has always been there. Then we saw the admission exam venue. It is the same place where Tail and O first met when they are still grade 7. And I really love this, because it is giving me that finale vibe that I love, making almost everything run in full circles. And Nada gave us a lot of these reminiscing feels this finale. Before going to their exam rooms, Ted and Solo and Bess walking together, looking like things has been good for the two of them. I don't think that this is a good day for him to see them. I know it's inevitable, but I just really hope that he just didn't saw them, because I really am afraid that it would greatly affect his mood and his test performance after. And I think I am not wrong here. Speaking of full circles, Nada keeps on bringing us back to where it all began. They are now both in the same place where they first met, and what's happening is almost exactly the same, the firecrackers. I know they are both longing to each other, but I really hate this. I mean, of course, I would want them to really have their moment, but what I want the most at this point is for Ted to really make it on his dream university after all those hardships he's been through. I am not in any way invalidating O's rough patch here, but I really thought that he's been good lately with Bess, so I'm worried to Ted more than I am with O's at this moment. And it really breaks my heart. Did Ted really have to know this the very moment before he needs to ace an exam it with an way to determine his life? I guess not. But you just saw some screenshots of the crying his eyes and heart out at times he should be taking an exam. And I am telling you, I pulled on those scenes that I left them with no words here in my review. The proctor then said that the time's up and Ted needs to answer 8 questions. So it left him with no choice but to just shade any letter just for him to be able to hand his answer sheet without any number, without an answer. And I went back with all my what ifs, which I think will be better to be mentioned one by one later. Remember when No managed to turn this invitation on the episode 3, he brought it up here in the finale. And we can all see how happy that made Bess. And this genuine pure soul deserves that happiness with the one he loves dearly. Oh. But what I love about the scene is how Nada did everything. The detailing is on the top of the scene. It is very symbolic, meaningful, and progressive. I love where they stopped walking and let all of us know that it is still perfect to see 2 boys holding hands beside a toilet signage with male and female icons. This is how Nada break the gender norms. O was very shocked in this scene, but this is the kind of love that he wants and deserves. A love that won't care regardless how many eyes would look and judge. A love that is not hidden in the back of the stairs or underwater. A love that is proud. Though he hesitated at first and had asked Bess if he isn't embarrassed. And this is how Bess answered. This boy is so pure. Seeing Bess smile makes my heart ache. He deserves better, but we all know how Ted and O love each other. Bess, let me love you instead. The next scene is Ted watering the plants in the middle of the night, even it has just rained. I don't know. Are these water elements a metaphor for all the tears he wants to cry out but he couldn't? Maybe. Lynn saw this weird act but and asked if there's something wrong. Lynn asked him if he's broken-hearted. And what I really love about this is that this perfect hot elder brother is open-minded as well. He asked Tay if it's about and didn't make it sound like it's wrong, because it really isn't. Straight guys like him should be half as good of a man as he is. This made Tay open up to him. For the first time, it came from his lips that he likes so. Then he cried. And those tears I saw are the sum of everything that has been keeping him to being truly happy and free. Those are tears of relief as well as tears of grief. Those are tears of fear. And it must have been so hard for him to keep it all inside. Thank God he now has Hoon. As this series progressed, my feelings for Hoon is progressing too. He said it straight. If Tay likes so, Tay should go after him. I stand. This series is a coming of age. I really love how this line is still present. Because we really have to understand that Tay is still experiencing identity crisis, unlike who is somehow lucky to figure it all out faster. I really love how he shares his worries like this one. He's still a kid, and we all know how hard it is to be in an arena where everyone is watching and judging you. His friends are all part of a sample, in statistics, of the population, in statistics which stands for the society. His worries are all valid. One thing that he also mentioned is when he brought Nesmith and how that made their mom really happy and very proud. We all know how much he wanted to make his mom proud. He hustled his whole life to be as good as Hoon, but always fails to do so. He just had that one shot to make his mom proud and he failed her. Now, he's worrying of making Sue feel worse because she might not understand when she found out that Tay likes another guy. I have a lot in my mind, but this is stressing me out. Why is everything so cruel? And this is the finale episode. At this rate, how can we expect a happy ending? Again, thank God for Hoon. I'll just put his lines one by one without saying anything because he just made a big whole point. After Hoon's lines, we all saw this baby boy. My heart is melting. The innocence portrayed by Bilgin here is so realistic you won't be able to tell he's acting. His lines were so simple but real. So childish and pure. I can't believe a series as perfect as this exists. As we all thought Tay would really stop crying, Hoon tried to cheer him up by saying he can always like anyone. Regardless of everything, be it social status or gender. And he finished with this sentence. Hoon said he thinks likes the two. And Tay started to cry again like a baby. At this point I have to drink a couple glasses of water for I'm afraid that I'd get dehydrated later. I've been crying a lot since the opening of this episode. Nato. Give us a break. Tay just continued to cry on Hoon's shoulder. And Hoon just stayed there for him. I want a Hoon in my life as well. Chinese New Year, we saw the gang with their partners, but Tay is not in their table. Actually, he's nowhere to be found judging from the angle Nada was giving us. What we're seeing is that and Bess are holding hands, not really minding the people around them. They're just happy, together. Then a performer started playing a song is the restaurant they're at. And it is the song that's continuously draining me for weeks. I hate this song. Skyline is so powerful. I hate it. I thought I'd be happy with the scene but no. Nada won't let me be. Started crying as well for he remembers Tay. This is the song they used to translate. It has sentimental value for the both of them. Then we saw Tay. He's also in the same place, but hiding from the rest of the gang. He's lonely. He's alone with his the desert. As continues to pour his tears. Tay is starting to break down as well on his own. I never cried scene by scene at any other series before. I am telling you, if you happen to be watching this review, but you weren't able to watch this series or episode, you must. My review just can't give justice to this series. Tay went home as he was reminded by the song. But I bet there was never a moment that he didn't miss or without hearing that song, I know he misses like crazy. That is why we are seeing this beautiful and intimate but sad scene. He's kissing, smelling and feeling test paper that has his scent, that was his, that reminds Tay of him. The test paper is for him. And he's longing for it. Moving forward, the admission results are finally out. Tam got in. Philip, Kai and Maud all got in as well. Of course, Bess would never not make it. Made it. Communication arts. An Anderson University. I got goosebumps thrice just by writing this sentence. I can still feel how emotional the scene was. All his hard work paid off. On the other hand, Terry is still played by fate. He got in his second choice. So he is still proud of him, but it is not him who wasn't contented with what he has achieved. But we can understand him. He's the top one for the special admission, but he didn't make it there through the normal admission. I'd be disappointed with myself as well if I'm Ted. And it must be really hard to work so hard for years with your eyes attached to that one very specific dream. You once had it, but you lost it. And here goes my what ifs. What if his teacher allowed him to retake the exam? Would his GPA be able to save him? What if he didn't see O and Bess together? What if he and O didn't talk before the exam? What if he didn't cry and went out during the exam? Would he be able to answer all the 8 remaining questions correctly? Would that be enough to save him? What if he at least saved his Chinese idioms book, just that one book? Would he perform better? What if he didn't include that Chinese idiom with a meaning reverse help? Would O accept his slot? What if O just accepted the 10th slot? Would they be fine and Ted would be able to focus on his admission? What if Bess didn't tell him about O's plans? Would he still relinquish? What if O answered his call while he's on the plane? What could have happened? I hate my mind. The next thing I know is that I am seeing O and Bess at Bess' car with Bess asking O where he wants to celebrate. O seems not to be interested. Or not on his mind to say the least. So Bess decided where to bring O. Remember the episode to us beginning? When Terry asked O if Bess is his chauffeur, that sends him wherever he wants to go. And as I said, Bess really is O's chauffeur, both literally and figuratively. Bess sent O to the, again, both literally and figuratively. Bess, I love you very much. Bess, let me love you instead. O tried to go and see Ted with Bess on his back just watching him leave. But O ran back to Bess and hugged him. And Bess is just so perfect the way he is. He always knew the perfect words to say. I also believe that Bess is the healthiest choice for O, but love doesn't really work that way. O loves Ted. And we all know that for a fact. We all know that O's really no intentions of hurting Bess, but he even said sorry. And Bess? He's perfect. He understands. Bess, let me love you instead. Inside Ted's house, he got a visitor, Taryn. Taryn asked him how he's holding up. And I don't think I would want a better answer than what they said. All in and they hugged each other tight. Taryn even got Ted a present. She drew Tarzangian. She even jokingly said that she made the Tarzangian more handsome than Terry actually is. And it worked. It really did. Ted then thanked Taryn with his beautiful smiles that are so genuine even when matched with his just finished crying face. Take note of this. He said that having Taryn as a friend is a gift. Taryn's mood automatically changed upon hearing the word friend. But even after hearing that word made her chances go slimmer, she still tried to get what she came for and asked Ted if he still wants the answer. But she asked Ted something first. She wants to know what Ted was about to confess when it reached out to her during that basketball class. And here's what Ted said with so much care and honesty. And Taryn handled everything with so much understanding, maturity and love. She then asked for O and told Ted something that made him do something. And she continued to cry. You know, I am so drained. I really loved Taryn's character, but I couldn't find the right words to say about her. I love her. I love how she handled everything. The least I could do is appreciate that she tried to give Ted her answer by means of drawing a purple hibiscus in his Tarangian drawing. The flower we can see on its hard pocket. Also, do you notice that both Tyr and Bess are wearing blue during their last scenes with Ted and O respectively? The details in this series are everything. We all know what blue represents. Sadness. Pain. Tay is now looking at O's Instagram post for their promise to each other. While downstairs, in their restaurant, there's O who was about to start to fulfill their promise on his own. And here goes the psychic Itsay, wishing O to get what he wished for. O then started to run alone, in his complete uniform as a communication arts student from the University. And guess what? I just started to cry and scream the very moment I saw Tess sidekick behind O. They're gonna make it. And I am having goosebumps as I am tapping this sentence. Now, you are powerful. They continue running and driving before making a stop at the shrine where they always go. The brother side are filled with coconuts for lots of good luck so they'll be able to fulfill their promise to each other. OMG. I just keep on having goosebumps while typing. Sorry for this robot voice who doesn't have any emotions. Tay then started to fill O's bag with coconut for them to drink while running to the tip of the Prophet Cape. Then Tay confirmed it to O that he'll be running with. Before running again, O prayed that he'll just change his shoes. I really like this line for it'll be better to have this in the script than us getting shocked by seeing him on the next frames with different shoes. Tay, what's on your mind? Again, I'll just put screenshots before it is during their run to the Prophet Cape that I cried the most. I don't know, the feels it gives me is just too much that I couldn't help myself to stop from crying. They're almost on their destination, but the clouds are blocking the sun. But Tay really learned his lessons with what's been happening to him lately, and as always, he's the one to push O to go run for things. He even called O's art student from an answer without any bitterness. That must have been hard for him but it doesn't show. Well, that's just how much he loves O. They continue to trek to the tip of the Prophet Cape and magic happens. Watch their documentary and discover how magical the scene is even in real life. They fulfilled their promise. They are now standing right next to each other and just watching the sunsets again. O started talking. Tay answered. O was brave, but he didn't mean any harm when he brought this up. But this answer made me love him more than I already do. And he started to talk about his dream. OMG. I am having goosebumps I can't even type. I cried when he said that his dream is in his heart. I can really see how happy they are just by being with each other. This is the kind of love that does not need anything. Their love for each other is enough. They even started to have a resolution when Tay offered that from that moment, he'll be the one who says things first. But O immediately disagreed and told Tay something about him and Bess. And Tay told him that the same thing happened between him and Tay. And O's lines here made me cry again. He first asked about him and Tay. Then proceeded by mentioning the things he can put up with. Be it his rival, friend or whatever it is, as long as Tay takes a part in his life. O told Tay that he can be whatever he wished to be. But do not disappear ever again. The build-up of the whole series up to this point is perfect. I can really feel O in every single word he says. Everything that this series showed us has led us to this moment. And there's no better way to end all this with Tay answering O's message with this one single sentence. Now, I don't know how to wrap this up. We can also see how full of emotions they are. Both of them are now crying because of happiness while hugging each other. While me, still crying and having goosebumps. Finally, they met in the middle. Also, I would like to add up how this series gave us a lot of very subtle foreshadowing that leaves so much impact. The series just keeps on giving us full circle details. Also, the best metaphor for the ending are the baby fish tanks. They are separated, but still together. This series is simply genius. I really appreciate this final frame with an open book filled with Chinese characters for the word love. This series has taught us different kinds of love without any toxic trap. This series is actually healthy and realistic, though painful. I really love how the book is open, for discovering oneself is not actually the ending. It also symbolizes for the second season they already confirmed, maybe. I don't know anymore. I told Sunset About You was the best series ever. And I am not exaggerating. This is purely an art. This is a masterpiece.